Hello, my name is Tony Brattoli. This is going to be a demo of a free asset game called Nightmares. I did the little rescore of this game, so let's just dive right into it. This is kind of the main scene of the game with all of the stagnant assets. We don't want to do that. We're actually in the Unity engine right now. So we're going to go down here to our project assets and open the loader and go to the game tab and get that started. So right as we get into it, you can see we have some menu music going. Kind of cycle through these ominous chords. The game is called Nightmares. I felt it was fitting. Alright, so we kind of get it. It'll randomly cycle through some other things there, but once we start the game, you'll hear a transition segment. And here we go. You can see some waves of bad guys start coming out. This is kind of an aim and shoot game with the keyboard and mouse. Now for the level music, I chose kind of a clock-like sound, as this game is time-based. You see up here we're at 88 seconds left. Alright, there's the repeat loop. Oh, and there's our transition into the middle part of the game. See, the music gets a little more busy as more enemies keep coming out. Get that big guy over there. Go. Yep, more and more enemies, more and more enemies. Just fighting my way through here. Again, there's that kind of pulsing clock kind of tick action going in the music. Oh, we transition into the last part of the game. 30 seconds left. A little faster, a little more busy. A little more anxiety inducing. Ah, more enemies coming through. We're almost there, 10 seconds left. Hey, and we beat the game. So it fades out into the win condition. So let's see what happens if we die or lose. So you can see it loops us back into the menu there with the menu music. So I'm going to start in here, and I'm just going to pretend like, man, I don't know. I don't know how to shoot. I'm just going to, oh, I keep getting attacked by these guys. Oh no. Well, there's our kind of countdown TikTok music going on. Alright, so let's stop that and get into more of the technical stuff here. So all of this music is, I wrote in Cubase and transitioned it into these Wise events. So I used a program called Wise by Audio Kinetic. It's actually owned by Sony now. So in here we can look at a couple of things. It's all kind of a folder hierarchy, kind of like Windows uses their folder hierarchy. You can see in here we have things called segments, and these segments actually are what control each of the music files that we have in here. So actually to change my layout into the interactive music layout, we can actually see the audio files that are contained in each of these segments. So here's the background music. So this is just one of the sections. You can see if we play it here. So this is one of the cues that you heard in the game. So each segment kind of pertains to the portion of the game that I want the music to be played in, and that can all be controlled with these events or through what we call game syncs within Wise. So you can see here when the game starts, we have the gameplay state, and that is set to play the background music. When you lose, it's set to play the lose segment. The menu will play the menu music that we heard, and the win condition will play the victory music that we had. And the cool thing about this too is that Wise can have each of these stingers and like transition segments. Those are just like the little fluff things that you can hear, like when, excuse me, I went in between the segments. So we went, that little sound. That was triggered because we told it, when this condition takes place, do this. So the condition in our case is the amount of time that's left, and that can all be set in Wise. Cool thing about this too, you can generate what's called a sound bank, and this is just a collection of all the sounds that are available that you've created within Wise and all of these segments in the hierarchy here, all controlled by these little switches. The switch is kind of almost the main parent of everything, just like a light switch. It controls when things happen based on the game states that I mentioned earlier, these little sinks. So gameplay, we can see, is a state. If we go back to our switch container, you can see the gameplay time. So this will cycle through each of the segments that we told it to based on the current sync or event that's going on within the game in the Unity engine. And it's a little technical here, but once that is kind of figured out in your mind as you are creating these things, it makes it a lot easier to control these kinds of events and musical elements than just straight up using the Unity engine itself to handle all of this. Another thing you can control is the volume of each thing. You can see the volume of each of these segments is actually down by 3 decibels. If you wanted it to be louder or even softer, you can change the slider and do it that way. Like I said, going back to the sound banks, once you generate the sound bank, Unity has what's called Wise Picker, and this can actually show you all of the Wise events and switches and game syncs and everything that you had in the Wise project, all generated from that sound bank that can be pulled through the Unity engine. It's just, Wise is just an amazing program. I wish more companies were able to use it. It's kind of a high pay point to use in your game, but the free version gets you up to 200 assets. So if your game is 200 assets or less, it's completely free to use. And yeah, that is just a little bit of the background of what I have done to this Nightmares game, and hope to see you the next time.